Thank you very much, Carl. We know that Liam is a gifted poet and an artist, but do you know that he also excelled at other sports? He's a brilliant arts player and he's a very shrewd card player. But he played Gaelic football too for Kilmena and Westport, and he played soccer for Allergan during the 7-a-side soccer leagues that were played here. And Liam always played in goals because he was always seen as having a safe pair of hands. Liam was a master at saving penalties because he had a technique. And he told me about his technique one time. He said, when the taker places the ball, there's 12 yards between the ball and the goal line. When the kicker would start his run up, Liam would start his run out. By the time the kicker got to the ball, the 12 yards was greatly reduced. And he said it worked every time, because at that stage the referee would never ask to have a penalty retaken. Liam kept us all involved with his online quizzes during COVID, time that we couldn't get out to play golf. I have known Liam now for almost 40 years since I started working in Allergan. I was starting and I was coming into plastics where Liam was the manager. And on the day I started, Liam was coming up to meet me, reception. And I saw this guy coming up and I said, surely that's not him. He can't be a manager. He looks like someone straight out of school. Maybe he's in here on work experience. But it was him. We shook hands, and at that time, I don't believe we've ever had a crossword. Liam has always been a team player, and it now gives me great pleasure to call on the man of the moment. Please welcome Liam Friel.
Welcome everybody, and thanks so much for turning up tonight for this book launch. I'm thrilled that this day has arrived, but also enormously relieved after a year's work. Thanks, Liam, for your kind words, President Anne for your work in Carraholly, and for Colette, and just to fill in the detail for Colette, the 19,500 trees were planted by the Drummond man, Jerry Joyce. That was in 1997. Welcome Councillor Christy Hyland and Councillor John O'Malley. Thanks for taking the time to be here tonight. I very much appreciate it. Thanks, Carl, for your words and for all that you've said, and not only what Carl has said tonight, but for all the great work that Carl and Council does for this club. The club wouldn't be where it is today without the leadership of Carl and Council, and I said what the Council do. Thanks to Christy for 40 years. It doesn't feel like 40 years of friendship with Christy. Christy is a friend at work, but a friend in the golf as well, and was instrumental in the building of Westport Pitch and Putt. It wouldn't be here but for Christy took on that and led it. Nothing's left to chance with Christy. Even this evening, he advised me what to wear. This is a big night for me and for my family, but it isn't about me. This is Westport Golf Club celebrating 50 years. It's the people of Carraholly celebrating together. It's friends, distant members, all celebrating. It's members of neighbouring clubs that have come together. And it's also an opportunity for the club to showcase the great place this golf club is. I'd like to thank the council, and as Carl said, at the AGM last year, if they didn't give me the approval, this book wouldn't be here today. So thanks to the council for that. Thanks to all of the people who gave me pictures, and thanks to the people who gave me names when I couldn't put names on people. And as you get older, it's a bit more difficult to put names on people. But fair play to people that I annoyed, I went back to time and time again until we got all of the names. Pat Cawley and the Mail News and the photographers, and thanks to the people during the year who gave me encouragement to get this book finished. There's two people, because when we talk about the golf club, we talk about the continuity, and Carl talked about it there. But there's two people in particular that are just synonymous with the club, and when we talk about events that are on here, and they are Marriott and Cannon. So Marriott and Cannon bring stability and consistency to the club, and captains come and go, presidents come and go, committees come and go, but they're the people who are the face of the club and who have that continuity over the years. And we know an awful lot of debt to them. They're the face of the club. You do tremendous work, and thank you very much. So yes, this was a very time-consuming project. Mary Friel can attest to me to that in great detail. But the time that I spent in this was only a fraction of the enjoyment that I got from this club, and from living in Carraholly, and I said from being a member of this club. It wasn't golf that brought me to Carraholly. It was love. And a free site to golf. So while I was doing this program, working late at it, I always went to bed with the bed warm, because Mary was always in the bed first. So in appreciation of that, Mary, a bouquet of flowers for you, just to thank you for being a great wife. So the 40 years have been, strong family ties. Nicola worked over here, and it's not all about golf. The social events that are on in the golf club, our three kids were actively involved in those social events, and they enjoyed them as well as I did. Laura was on the first girls junior team, and the posters that you see up here, Connor designed those for us, and they're great to have those posters, and thanks Connor for that. To Rob and to Mark who are here, and then to Nina, Finn, Joey and Dara, who's 5 months old. For me it was easy. It was a jump over the wall. Easier when I was younger. Still try and jump over the wall, but I use the gates more often at this point. Or to walk to the golf or the golf lessons, and then maybe a few Bicardis and walk home afterwards. While it's a short journey from the golf club home, for some people it has proven a little more treacherous. I love my involvement in the golf club. The inter-club matches against other clubs, the match plays in the club competitions, winning Willie Elliott's captain's prize, and on the same day Laura won the ladies section of that competition, winning the King's Cup with John Collins, the race to Portugal with Tom Walsh, again a very memorable occasion. The 1990s and the Open Weeks were just amazing times when there was music, friends come down from Ballycastle, from Dublin, from Cork, and they enjoyed this club, and they made it their club, and they made it for us as well, with sing-songs and music late into the night. Our matches and our relationships with neighbouring clubs, Mulroney's, Castlebar, Ballinrobe, they're great, I suppose, clubs that are neighbours, but there's been great friendship with those clubs. Rivalry for sure when matches were on, but when it was over, three clubs certainly working superbly well together. And then our twinning with Woodward. But mostly for me it was around social events. So the senior citizens parties, retirement parties, birthday parties, the service awards for the staff, Thursday night social, the quiz, the magician that Jim and Michael brought in, the Carraholly residence night, we had pre-wedding parties, we had day twos of weddings, and we had mock weddings. We had art exhibitions and conferring life membership on Jeremy Brown 2012. And I was that annoying person with the camera. So because of that, while I had that, it also meant that When I was capturing the moment of events that were on here, it was also capturing history as it unfolded, but it was then a massive collection that I had when I started to work on this book. It was a great starting point. And as you read through it, you'll see some people feature a lot and other people don't. People who feature the most in the book were the people who were involved the most, both in golf, in social events, and the life of the club. And it brings me into the facts, faces, and the folklore. So some of the facts, there's 500 articles in this book. They were researched from over 50 years. There's 2,500 main uses, 2,500 current telegraphs within the national papers. But that's some of the data that Christie had. That's where that comes from, is the results of competitions, names of committees, cost of membership. And sometimes the best score on the day didn't always win. But every article that's in it is linked to an event and to a date. Which brings us to the faces. So there are 1,600 pictures in the book. Over 2,100 people are featured either in photo or in the articles that are printed. But the interesting thing is that 1,000 people that are in the book were never members of the golf club. So it shows the spread that the golf club has. Now, it's not just a members club, it spreads, way beyond that. And the connection in the next 48 hours that Carl has launched the book, one of them will be on its way to Melbourne in Australia to Father Jim Stanton. So this shows the reach of where the involvement of people in the past and people who have come here and where the book will end up. In this you'll see princesses, you'll see ambassadors, you'll see presidents, you'll see a 7-week-old Adam Morden, a 100-year-old Mary Nestor. You'll see the Lonergan girls, Mary Kate and Ellen, who were in the book as pictures, taken someplace down there, and today they are All Ireland champions. It's a great credit to them, and it's a great connection with the past. In it you'll see pictures of husbands and wives, and you'll see pictures of husbands with other men's wives. It was just the way the picture was taken. The folklore goes back to 1977, and the Kilmeny team they won the first junior title in 1977, and in the main news it said, win, lose or draw, they'll go to celebration in the golf club, and they did. You'll see dealings with Bor Fáilte, and here's folklore is that the original design of the golf club had 5 par 3s. So for people who are not golfers, that probably doesn't mean a lot. For people who are golfers, there was 5 par 3s in the original design. Aeroplanes landed on the course, foxes were released from snares out on the 16th. And actually in the single picture you can see all 3. You can see the fact of maybe the official result. You can see the face, so maybe a strong handshake and a genuine smile. And then in the next picture, you'll see a weak handshake and a forced smile. And the folklore is the people who are watching, the people who were watching the presentation take place. And they watch the giver and they watch the receiver. And they work out whether the handshake and the smile are genuine or not. The layout of the book is deliberate, so it's not in chronological order. And the reason for that is that if you got the book in chronological order, you'd become extremely lazy. You wouldn't look back to the original part of the book, and you'd go just to the colour pictures. So for that reason, it's intermixed with colour and black and white pictures, it's into themes. Some of the difficulties that I found over the compiling of it was the spelling of people's names. Joe Burke, is there an O or a U, or is there both in it? Whichever it is, it says it is in the book now. Marion Duffy, is it an A-R-I-O-N or an A-N at the end of it? Anne Duffy, was it an E at the end of it or no E? And it is, Anne told me it's with an E, so it's with an E. Pat McIntyre designed the book, designed the cover. So what Pat has designed here, he has the facts, faces and folklore in the text of the layout of the design of the book. But that also matches the club crest. And what Pat has put together there is a it's quite amazing. It's a modern look, it's vibrant, and it's probably very unique in a golf club or any club's history, a design like that. And Pat and Pam, they're great members of the club, and as they say, they're two genuine people. Now, typically with a book like this, it could cost 30 to 35 euro, and that would be the production cost of a book. So that's what it would cost for us buying it. And people might buy it reluctantly at 30 or 35 euro. Or as my mother would say, it should take the good out of it. But we were lucky, we had 3 sponsors in Port West. Port West, a 120-year-old company, 5,500 employees, sells PPE to over 130 countries. We had a Castlecourt Hotel group celebrating 50 years. We've Anne Corcoran coming in as lady captain next year. And Castlecourt Hotel Group employ 600 people in their 3 hotels. And then we have AbbVie celebrating 10 years, over 50,000 employees, and sending products to patients to 175 countries. This book sells for 20 euro. All of the proceeds, and we reckon it will be around 6,000, will go to the club. That means that all of the books need to be sold, but that's what it's worth to the club, is 6,000 euro. So it's a win-win for the club. And it's important that members present, past, and people who are anyway associated with it, it's up to ye who are here to go out and promote it. Not for my sake. Do it for the club. Putting it together, there were some anxious moments. Computer freezing, you'd lose hours of work, change the format, and the first drafts that came back. But I am absolutely delighted the way the book has turned out. I want people to enjoy the book, so I want this to be your book. I want you to make it your own. The final chapter is designed in a way that if there's a picture that's special to you that's not in the book, don't blame me. Blame yourself. But also use it as an opportunity, as Colette said, it is download the pictures and put them in there. So that's what that last section is there for. As you read through the contents, it will certainly spark or ignite or rekindle some memories. As you turn the pages, you will see the facts, the faces, and the folklore. And some of it will bring happiness, and some of it will bring emotion, and will bring sadness of members of loved ones. The history is recorded in this book. In 100 years' time, people will look back and they will see people and they'll see events that are all date stamped to a specific date or a specific date, and it will be used as a reference. And just as Ollie White is doing tonight in recording the history on video and on YouTube, history isn't always in the past. Today's events become tomorrow's history. And if it's not captured today, the moment passes. When myself and Ali are both dead, the written word and the YouTubes will remain long after us. This is the club, it's the hub of the community. A week ago, Kilmena became a senior football team winning the intermediate championship. And as part of the community hub that it is, they would like to bring it up the cup here later on, which is really good. Sonny inside in the bar is doing a promotion, and this is something new that he's doing. So this is the club. So he's doing a 20% discount on if you eat here using this menu, or if you come and collect it. And if you don't, you won't get the 20%, but he'll deliver it free anywhere in town. And Mark downstairs is doing 40% discount off selected clothing. That's just in connection with the book launch. It's also, I suppose, an opportunity in the book that we recognise and acknowledge the value of our sponsors in the club over that 50-year period and going back beyond that. So I'll finish where I began, is to thank every one of you for coming. The history is being created here tonight. So that's part of the facts. What we're doing tonight is also creating history. Colin McKeown is capturing the faces of people in the golf club on this event, and so let this be, a night to remember, and for everybody it to become part of your folklore and the folklore of the great golf club that is Westport Golf Club, and the great Carraholly community. Thank you very much.
I think all that's left to be said is thank you, Liam. Thank you for an amazing book, an amazing speech. It will provide hours of entertainment for us, for our families, and for future generations to come. The book is now launched, so it's on sale. So I would encourage many people, if possible, to buy. And I'll just say thank you very much for being here tonight and for sharing this with us. And safe home. Thank you.